Moses here is reciting the 10 commandments to this new generation of God's people. And he says, hey, fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath. But he doesn't just say, remember the Sabbath. He says, remember the Sabbath for this reason. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Now, this is key here for us. Here, the practice of Sabbath is commanded to remind themselves that they no longer have to abide to their old ways as slaves in Egypt. In fact, practicing Sabbath was a way for them to resist against their old ways as slaves. It was the way in which they were able to move forward from the never-ending work that they experienced in Egypt. The Sabbath was an act of resistance. And the same is for us today. We Sabbath today in our cultural world as an act of resistance, resisting against the never-ending pace of the world, resisting against the intrusive presence of things, resisting against the need to feel every desire that we have in our hearts, obtaining what we want and when we want it. We resist against the ways of the world to remind ourselves that we are in fact not the world's, but rather we are now the Lord's.